Never piss off the DM. Welcome to the Twisted Pint Tavern. Today we're visiting r/D&D to... Oh wait, there is no r/D&D? As you may have heard, many subreddits are doing a blackout of their content to support the protest against Reddit's planned API changes. But in this tavern, it's all about conversation, and well, if we can't find a written, we're gonna find the unwritten. So today, we'll be taking a look at the unwritten rules of D&D according to our Discord members. And we are so grateful to have our Discord members participating 100% on this one because of the Reddit blackout. So here we go. You never roll unless told to. I don't mind if my players are occasionally like, hey, can I roll insight against this guy? Or hey, can I do a survival check to try to track this person down? That doesn't bug me as much as long as it's in moderation. But if you're asking to roll everything just because you don't like the outcome you've gotten, so you want to throw it up to the fates, that kind of slows the game down and makes it not as fun. Always seduce everyone. There's a whole bunch of bard players that would agree with you here, as well as a lot of other players. People like seducing things. Don't roll persuasion or deception checks against other players. Everything fades to black that is in any way sexual, and if players roleplay well, they get an inspiration. I far prefer having players actually negotiate, talk, or try to deceive the other players at the table in roleplay without the dice. Sometimes it's kind of necessary if you have someone who's not really that into the roleplay yet. But I agree, typically try to do it as at the table as possible. And good roleplay getting an inspiration? Absolutely, I think that's what inspiration is meant for, honestly. And for the fade to black part, yeah, I'm with you there. It saves a lot of time and awkwardness. Never split the party. Are you sure about that? Cause I've got this video over here that you should totally go check out after watching this one. It's safe to assume everything wants to kill you. See, when I first went into D&D, I absolutely thought this was the case. Everything was going to kill me. And then later on you learn, no, not everything's gonna kill you. And then you start playing more and more and you realize, oh yeah, no, everything can absolutely kill you. That little tiny leaf over there could probably kill me. Always say no if the DM asks, are you sure? What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. I totally don't have so many examples of people putting on cursed items just out of the blue and plummeting to the bottom of the ocean because they thought it said a ring of water breathing, but it was actually a ring of the anchor, and then they almost died. I don't know what you're talking about. Never piss off the DM. Yes, this is correct. We control your fate, so pass the Doritos and roll initiative. I'm not sure if this really counts, but at the end of each session, I request each player tell me their VIP of the session, essentially their favorite player-driven moment of the game. The VIP with the most votes is granted a VIP die, a homebrew item, that is a one-time use and permits a 1d4 onto any roll they make. This is to encourage my players to not be afraid to go a little extra with their roleplay, and it has my group really patting each other on the back and encouraging one another. I think this is great. It's more of a homebrew rule than an unwritten rule, but honestly it's a homebrew rule that definitely encourages roleplay and I don't think changes the balance really that much at all, so definitely try it out. As a player, if you have a crazy, rule-breaking, possibly game-changing idea, run it by your GM. Yes, please. I'm all for you going all out. I'm all for you trying things and going all out on your backstory and all that. I think it's amazing. But please involve me in the process. As a DM, your job is to make sure that your players have fun. Make sure to check on them and what they liked or didn't like. That way it's easier to avoid your players leaving out of frustration. It's important to remember that the DM is there to have fun too, but as the DM, you are largely facilitating the fun for everyone else at the table. So while each person's individual enjoyment can come down to how they interact and what they take from the game, it is technically on the DM to build a scenario that is enjoyable. Attempt to roleplay your character when you're given a chance, even if it's terrible. Yes, I love when people roleplay as much as possible. I know that there are people out there who aren't really comfortable roleplaying yet, or maybe will never be comfortable roleplaying, and that's fine. But if you are comfortable roleplaying, or if you're trying to get into it, roleplay as much as you can, because it really helps you immerse yourself and the others into the world around your character. Play a character you want to play. The amount of times that someone made a character that they hated to play from the start is shocking. Yeah, I don't know what the appeal to this is, of just making a character that you have zero interest in furthering in the game. I get sometimes making a character that's outside of your comfort zone, or doing something that maybe you don't love because you want to fill that void in the party or something, but you still make it enjoyable. But people who just make characters that they don't like and keep hating it the whole way through, doesn't make sense to me. Make a character that wants to go on adventures. There are some characters who really don't care for adventures and are just there as an aspect of circumstance, and that can work, but typically, yes, if you're an adventurer, you should be out adventuring for a reason. Or even better, make a character that makes adventures happen, like, I don't know, doing something a little goofy, summoning a god for fun, robbing the king. As long as it doesn't actually completely ruin and derail the game, have fun with it and make the adventures happen. That can be a ton of fun. If you're doing good playing your character, you will get rewarded with whatever I feel like. If you want to target a piece of the body, you roll with disadvantage. I remember once I, the DM, forgot to mention this on Game 0, and 6 games later, a player decided to target the face of a Dragonborn. I explained the thing quickly. He rolls a nat 20 and a natural 19. It being the first time this was used, I counted the nat 20 since it was so close and the party avoided a lot of burning and troubles. I think the official rule is like -4 or 5 or something. I'm pretty sure in older editions, the called shot rule was -4, I could be wrong. But disadvantage can work as well. Honestly, in most combats, it's not really gonna matter, but if you're doing something like fighting a beholder and you want to target a specific eye stalk, you should have a penalty to hit that. Now for one of the unspoken rules that I find the most important. What happens in the game stays in the game. And no, I don't mean that in a what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas kind of way. Sometimes in D&D, characters betray each other, accidents happen, and things can get tense. Sometimes this is by choice of the players, and sometimes it's a circumstance of the plot. Talking about things after a session is fine, encouraged even, but taking something that happened entirely between two characters and holding a grudge against the other player for it isn't fair. Most of the time, horror story players excluded. Ultimately, we're all writing and living a story here, and while getting immersed and feeling like you're actually there is amazing, remember that at the end of the day, everyone sitting around that table or online are human beings, people who are likely your friends, and it should stay that way, regardless of what happens in-game between your characters. I've seen many IRL friendships get ruined or tested because of something that happened in-game that they had little or no control over. Oh, and this goes for the DM too. Don't hate me because you hit 0 3 times in a row. Sometimes the dice really do just want you dead. And that's gonna do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you've not done so already, and don't forget to hop into the Twisted Pint Tavern Discord server. In there you can chat all things D&D, submit your stories for future videos, and more. So don't forget, click the link in the description and join the Twisted Pint Tavern Discord. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and remember, there are some unwritten rules for the tavern as well. I'm not gonna tell you what they are, because then they wouldn't be unwritten, but you know.